Well, howdy all everyone, hope you're doing well today. This is the preview for my Wollongong Marathon. Let's get right on into it. Right, so where is Wollongong then? This place where the marathon is taking place? Well, Wollongong is a coastal town south of Sydney, around 85 k's down south. It's about an hour and a half drive from where I live currently in the Blue Mountains. So what about this Wollongong Marathon? Well, this is actually the first time Wollongong is hosting a marathon in their streets. And naturally, as it is a marathon, it is 42.2 kilometers. It takes place on the 26th of April, so 2 days from now. And it is starting at 8 a.m. in the morning, obviously, as I said, 8 a.m. And the course itself, it is a 2-lap course that starts in the heart of Wollongong itself. It starts opposite Lang Park on Marine Drive, and it goes up the coast. So we'll get a coastal view of the Pacific Ocean throughout the whole run. Goes up to Bellembi, and then back down, and then do that again, and then it actually finishes in Lang Park itself. The elevation gain is actually 235 meters in elevation, which is actually not too bad, really. Like, if you think about that over the course of 42.2 kilometers, that is actually not too bad. Like, it's not like Chicago marathon level where it's like pretty much always flat, but it is actually a relatively good gradient of elevation. Yeah, it's not too bad at all. So yeah. Right, so what is the weather looking like for my first ever marathon race? Well, glad you asked. So I have literally been checking this pretty much every day, and leading up to it, it was looking intermittent. Like, it was looking a little bit sprinkly, so a bit unknown. But thankfully I can confirm that at this point in time, 2 days from the marathon, as I've already mentioned, it is meant to reach around 20 to 21 degrees, which is perfect racing conditions. And it is not meant to rain until later on in the day, when the race is obviously over by that point. So thank goodness for that. So what are some things to think about going into this race? Well, for starters, it is my first marathon race. I've done the marathon distance before, but that was in like my own time. Like, I did my own course around the Pean River. I've done that twice now, and yeah, so I'm in the unknown of like what it's like to race the marathon distance with other people. So that'll be a new challenge for me. Depending on how many people are there. I still at this point don't know how many people there's going to be, because because another factor in to think about is that it is, as I said, Wollongong's first marathon race, so there's no guarantee that it could be really big or it could be relatively small. So yeah, there's a bit to factor in there. So the other thing to factor in as well is that, so I'm actually heading out tomorrow on Anzac Day, probably around midday, to get out there and then do the early registrations, which is around 3 to 5 p.m. So then I can get that out of the way before the race starts itself on Saturday morning. And yeah, so I'm actually heading out to a hotel called Flinders Motel, which is like literally not even about a K away from where we're starting the race. So it's actually very convenient. I can just walk up there from the hotel and register and just get a bit of an idea of the course itself on the day before of the marathon. For nutrition wise and fluids and all that, I'll be using my NAC products as I naturally do. I'm using the purees and the gels, things that I'm used to, things that won't upset my stomach too much. I've obviously am used to the purees. I use them in the half marathon race, and the gels that NAC provide, I have used them in my marathon training leading up to this a few weeks ago as well, and so my stomach is used to it. so there's no problem in terms of, or should not be any problem really, when it comes to digestiveness and all that. And I'll also be wearing my water pack that I used for my SMC road races earlier on this year, and like I'll be filling it up to the full 2 liters because it's twice the distance compared to when I was filling it up to 1 liter in the half marathon, just to keep my water levels up. I do normally prefer to carry my water with me as opposed to the drink stations that are provided, which they will be in this race obviously. Just for me, just personally, I prefer that. That's something that I've always done ever since I started running a year ago. Yeah. What would it mean to achieve a sub 3 hour marathon? It would mean so much for many reasons. I look back at this time a year ago and I remember only just starting to get into running and struggling to do 14k, let alone a marathon distance, as I prepared for the City to Surf in August that year. I consider myself blessed that within the past year I am able to even contemplate running a 3 hour marathon or sub as a possibility. I know many runners spend years trying to achieve that goal, which is why I consider myself blessed to be in this position. I look back at the big successes in my final SMC road race half marathon, which gave me those true first thoughts of potentially achieving a sub 3 hour marathon. Then I also look back at the unsuccessful moments in my running when I couldn't even achieve half the distance of a 45k long run, or having a nasty fall a few weeks ago in my 60km attempt. And I see how I grew from those runs, and I realized just how hard it would be to achieve a sub 3 hour marathon time. I then look back as to when I was a kid in high school, battling body dysmorphic disorder, hating my own body, refusing to take my jacket off, and overall feeling humiliated whenever I had to take part in sports, not let alone running in high school. I then realized that this time is so much more than just a substantial achievement for me as a runner. It would be a substantial achievement because of the journey that I have been on that led me to this place. That is what it would mean to achieve a sub 3 hour marathon. Well, that just about does it for my preview of the Wollongong Marathon. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and take care everyone, and God bless. Bye.